Hey friends, it's Jeff here with missionmusician.com, and today I want to talk about EQ. Oftentimes when we start out mixing, we just want to EQ the crap out of everything because we think that's what we're supposed to do. This video is going to be titled, I think, Don't Overthink EQ. What I'm going to try to do is run through this song super quick and just lightning fast EQ everything. I don't know how far I'll get through, but I'm not focused on saturation. I'm not focused on compression or anything like that right now. I'm just going to focus on EQ. If the track needs EQ, then I'll EQ it. If it doesn't, then I won't. So we're going to see how this works out. I am going to do this in my normal way that I mix, which is probably going to be a little uncomfortable to listen to. I'm going to mix it in mono. I have the stereo width plug-in on, and I've got it reduced to mono. So before I even do that, I just want to talk about a few things. So this track is out of phase, so that's why that plug-in's on it. Let's see, do I have any other plugins on? What is this? Okay, that's just a blank plugin. So I'm not going to do any tape saturation, and I'm going to use completely stock plugins here, or stock EQ. What's going on here? Oh, that's from a carryover video. Let me just bypass that. So let me play just a second of the song for you really quick. Okay, so I'm going to put it into mono. And since this is a rock song, I'm going to start out with drums. And so I'm not going to go over routing too much. This has got like a ton of kick drums. It's got a ton of snares. And they're all routed to... the kicks are routed to the kicks. I'm going to EQ them as one. The snares are routed to the snares. There are so many rooms in this. The rooms start from here, go all the way down to here. Now, if I was really mixing this song, I would go through and decide what I wanted to keep. You don't need, 5 different variations of a room mic. But just to make this simple, I'm just going to route them all to a rooms bus. And let's see, we got some electric guitars, some background vocals, lead vocals. All right, so what I see a lot of and what I used to do when I EQ'd, let's see, just get a stock EQ up here, is, I would search around for some frequencies. At one point, what I was doing is I was just, making tiny cut here. Make a tiny cut, a tiny cut here, and sometimes it needs a surgical EQ, but most of the time it doesn't. If you have well-recorded tracks, you just need a little bit of EQ. So where I'm going to start out at is I'm going to start at the mix bus. Not even, like I said, I'm not even going to worry about compression right now. So let's get an EQ on here. And let's just go for it. I'm going to try to do minimal tweaks on the submix, so let's go. And a lot of people don't know what they're searching for when they're listening and playing around with EQ. Right at this frequency right here at what is that, 469, the drums and the vocals and the guitar get real boxy. So let me take this, let's see, take this out and I'll put it back in. Oops, sorry. So there's a lot of just garbage tone going on in there. Now, I'm not going to take a lot out. As a matter of fact, maybe 2, 3 at the most dB. So let's do that. And then I'm also noticing that the cymbals and the highs, they're not very prominent. I'm not going to go crazy here. I'm just going to give a little bit of a boost. And then the last thing I'm going to do is, there probably isn't any rumble, but just to make sure, I'm just going to roll a high-pass filter up to about 28, just to make sure there's no low rumble here. I mean, if I bypass this, you're not even going to be able to tell the difference. All right, so let's quickly move through the instruments. I'm going to solo the kicks really quick. Whoops. I'm going to see if low end boost is going to do anything. I'm probably going to try around 60-ish. You know what? I'm such a dummy sometimes. No wonder it was sounding kind of weird. So it sounds deeper. I did bring in a little bit of the beater, and I did bring up a little bit of the low end. I'm not even sure that it really needs the low end. Let's just move on really quick. Again, we're trying to not overthink EQ too much. We're just trying to set it quickly. Let's do these. Hear how the snare sounds really honky right there. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that out. And then when I think about adding some low end to the snare, I don't know if this really needs it, but I'm going to see the body of the snare is usually around 200 hertz, somewhere around there. Right, so that sounds a lot thicker. And then let's see if we can find something a little aggressive up top. All right, so I like that. Let's move on to, let's see, there's a ride track. Yeah, let's go ahead. I don't overthink the hi-hats at all. I don't roll them up to just high end, but I also don't spend a whole lot of time on them. Let's take a listen. Actually, what I'm going to do is come all the way down to here. And let's see, is that going to work? No, that's not going to work. All right, never mind. I'm going to skip the toms and go to the overheads really quick. Let's do the toms. If you've watched any of my videos for any length of time, you know how I do the toms. I do the tom EQ trick. This is probably the only different way I'll do EQ throughout this whole quick tutorial. And actually, I do need to solo the EQ, or the EQ, the tom by itself so I can hear what I'm doing. All right, let's move on really quickly here. Let's just do the bass. Let's just do the bass as 1, even though the synth part is kind of different. EQ. We get to a different part here. I'm going to send all these guitars to a new bus really quick. Sorry. Oh, you know what? I didn't send the room to my drum bus. All right. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm not talking. I'm just trying to blow through this really quick. Let me get to this beginning part here.
I made the choice to be more than I really am. One last time I give in to these bearing hands. I've done nothing, so I guess I could just forget what once was and what I made out of myself again and again. I made the choice to be more than I really am. One last time I give in to these bearing hands.
And then I think I'm just going to copy that down to lead box 2 and probably lead box 3. Not sure what this is. Lead box double.
One last time I give in to these bearing hands. One last time I give in to these bearing hands. One last time I give in to these bearing hands. I've done nothing, so I guess I could just forget. You've made me a living target. You've done so much for me. On and on until I couldn't breathe. You've made me a living target. You've done so much for me. On and on until I couldn't breathe. Leave our homes. You've made me a living target. You've done so much for me. On and on until I couldn't breathe.
All right, so I have very quickly ran through and just done some EQ moves. So no compression or anything. I'm going to pop this back out into stereo.
You've made me a living target. You've done so much for me.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just see how this works out. Let's see, is there something I forgot? No. So my whole point in this is to not overthink EQ. I've got these 4 guitars going to this bus, and that's EQing those. This is EQ'd. What is this? Did I miss something? Let's see really quick here. What is this? It's just a single note. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. And select from here all the way to here. And let's find out if these little EQ moves improve the mix. So I'm going to turn them all off. Maybe. There we go. All right, so now they should all be off all the way to the submix. I'm going to move this guy. Okay, let's take a listen. Actually, let's get to maybe a chorus. If I can find one. Right before a chorus. How about that?
You've made me a living target. You've done so much for me. On and on until I couldn't breathe. You've made me a living target. You've done so much for me. On and on until I couldn't breathe. Leave our homes to come back stronger. And no one knows if they can take it any longer. Lonely heart, soft in mind. Maybe sooner have
Okay, so definitely an improvement. Now, I honestly wouldn't mix this quickly or EQ this quickly, but I wanted to show this to you the power of EQ and to show you that you don't have to overthink it. You don't have to use all 7 bands of your EQ or all 4 bands of whatever EQ you're using. Just raise the EQ up, listen for something that sounds like crap, and pull it down a little bit, bypass it, see if it sounds better. If it does, then what you did is good. If it needs some top end, add just a little bit. If it needs some low end, add it a little bit. So let's listen one more time here really quick.
You've made me a living target. You've done so much for me. On and on until I couldn't breathe. You've made me a living target. You've done so much for me. On and on until I couldn't breathe. Leave our homes to come back stronger. And no one knows if they can take it any longer.
So it sounds deeper. It sounds a little bit brighter, but not harsh. It sounds less boxy. When I take these EQs off, it gets really boxy. So, and also, I'm just using stock EQs here. I'm not using, any fancy plugins. I'm not. There's no compression on here. There's no saturation, no tape emulation, no preamp emulation. This is just stock EQ, and you can see what a drastic difference it makes when I just ran through it really quick and EQ'd it. Now, would I stay with all these EQ moves? I don't know. This is just a quick gut decision, and most of the time that usually works. But as I progress through compression and tape emulation and all that, I may make some tweaks here and there. But that's not the point. The point is to show you that you shouldn't overthink EQ. You should listen to the track and think to yourself, what does this need? If it sounds good, then and you can hear it in the mix, then it may not need anything. It may need just a touch of compression. Now, I do always recommend, and here's where I differ from other people, is I do recommend to roll off everything you can with a high pass filter. Some other teachers will tell you never to roll off anything. To me, I find that it clutters the low end. It muddies up the bass. It muddies up the kick drum. If I don't roll off guitars, if I don't roll off vocals, and I'm not rolling off a lot here. And if you say for instance, let me let's just take these 4 guitars here, and let's see how much I rolled off. All right, so I rolled off to 136. All right, let's just use this first. Whoops. And what I meant to do is unsolo everything. That didn't work out. All right, let's try that again. All right, take these 4 guitars here and solo them. That's all information that you don't need in the mix. What I like to do with guitars normally when I'm EQing, and I just did this quickly, but I like to roll it off to where it sounds thin and then roll it back a little bit. So let's try that. To me, that sounds good, so I had it rolled up a little bit too much, but let's just listen to this. Actually, you know what? Let me take out these other EQ moves real quick, so we're just focusing on the high-pass filter. So I'm not getting rid of a lot, but I've cleared up from 100 hertz down. There's no guitar in there, so that leaves room for my kick and bass. And this video is getting way off course. I just wanted to show you that really quick. So again, my whole point is don't overthink EQ. Don't think you have to use every single band on your EQ. Don't think you have to cut a certain frequency. And just a side note, when I started watching some tutorial videos years and years and years ago, or started reading in recording books and stuff, I would copy what the mixer, the exact frequencies that he was using to cut a guitar. That's not helpful at all. If you had this source material in front of you, it would be helpful. If you were mixing the same song as me, it would be helpful. You do not have the same source material that I have, so you have to use your ears. You have to find the frequency that sounds bad to you personally, okay, and then cut a little bit of it out. Don't cut 10 dB of it out. Just a little goes a long way with EQ. Cut 2 to 3 dB out. Okay, so just wanted to shoot. This was supposed to be a quick video. I was hoping to get done in 10 minutes, and here we are at 30 minutes already. So thanks for watching. I hope this this little video will be helpful for you when you start EQing. Feel free to leave some comments below, and I will see you in another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.